Hello, everyone. I am joined today by unified MMA fighter Kevin Popowick. Kevin, how are we doing today?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. So, just right off the bat, last night was a big night for Niagara Top Team, you guys and you in general. Ashley Nichols picked up a huge win, unanimous decision at LFA 167. Tell me a little bit about how that was and just how that night went.
Yeah, it was a sick night, man. Everything went smoothly. Weigh-ins. I joke that like we were the B team because Jazz is fighting. The A team is in Vegas right now for Jazz. Uh, but me, Gabe Sagman, and Zach Powell, we put our heads together and figured it out. Made sure we could do everything we could for Ashley and pads, wrestling information, ground. So she did her shakeout. She looked great. She did her warm up. She looked great, and she went out and she looked great.
Yeah, she looked awesome, man, and I think you guys definitely played a big part in that. She told me last week that all you guys, were just always helping her evolve and improve and everything, and you just see the evolution in her every fight. So I feel like that's an awesome moment as a teammate to know, to see all those levels she's been rising lately.
Yeah, I would not give myself as much credit as she's giving me for sure, but it's I think it's just the room, man. Everybody's we scrap each other every day, and we figure out what we're doing wrong. Like Prickett says it all the time in the room, right? It's like I can't coach you unless you show me something. So as like Ashley's one of the girls that tries really hard, and there's things to work on because she's trying, right?
Like you say, man, hard work.
Yeah, that's right.
So you have a Unified 53 fight, a fight coming up at Unified 53 against Pat Connors. Tell me a little bit. What do you know about your opponent, if anything, and just how do you expect this fight to play out?
Pat Connors, cool guy. I trained with him during the pandemic sometime. He came out
Nice.
to um, yeah, he's a tall, lanky MMA guy. He's good off his back. He fucking is scrambly in the ground exchanges. He's got pretty good stand up, and yeah.
Okay, so what's it? He has a couple losses by rear naked choke, and that's kind of your favorite way to finish the fight, from what I can tell. So, do you think
I
that could?
didn't even know that he had losses by rear
I
naked
think I
chokes.
think he has 3 of his 7 losses by rear naked choke, and you have
Well,
3 of 5 wins by rear naked choke. So I was just wondering if that could be, something you saw the way this fight going.
it is now.
Good to know. So this is your third fight in 7 months. You also had 3 fights in 9 months last year. Is this kind of activity something you're planning on keeping up and just planning on moving forward until you reach the level you want to reach?
I didn't know that I was that active, but yeah, I was trying to be a little bit more active. I wanted to fight in August before I fought in October, but it didn't end up materializing. But yeah, definitely, man. Like if I'm healthy and I feel good, then I'm ready to fight.
Awesome. So now talk to me a bit more about just Niagara Top Team and just the energy there in general. Ashley was telling me there's just a lot of great energy there. I see you obviously with the videos, always hard work, and just tell me about some of the guys there and just how it is.
Um, like I said earlier, right? It's a sick room. We scrap each other every day. Like we'll go in and we complain how tired we are and how we don't want to train, and then we train as hard as we fucking can, and then we continue. We feel good for about 10 minutes, and then we continue to complain how tired we are, and then go in again and do it again or later that day, right?
Yeah.
Uh, that's kind of the motto: hard work every day, 11 and 5. Sometimes it changes. Like we joke about, yeah, every day 11 and 5, and then Tuesdays 10 and 3, and then we go through the whole schedule. Like some days we do like maybe one a day or whatever.
Yeah, no one stops. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
So you what's it? I'm pretty sure you live with Aaron Jeffrey and Zach Powell. Just tell me a little bit of how your relationship with those guys are and just how you guys got so close.
So basically, we live wherever we end up sleeping. Is what happens. We'll like live at Prickett's for a bit, then we'll live at AJ's for a bit, then we'll live at fucking. We go over to Powell's house a lot. We'll like Jelly invites us over to fights a lot, or like we'll have a fire. Like again, cool thing about the team is everybody's basically exactly the same, where this is all we're doing,
Yeah.
right? So it's not like we're like, oh, I got work in the morning or anything like that.
Yeah, this
We
is
got
work.
exactly
Hmm.
like this is our job. We're not making any money, but it's our job.
So you have a lot of friends on that Unified 53 card. Jomo, Tommy Theo, Julian LeBlanc. Does it make you more comfortable at all knowing a bunch of the, like, your guys are on the same card as you?
I'm gonna say yes right now, and then it's gonna be fight night, and I'm gonna be like, fuck these guys. I don't give a what they do. But yes, definitely. It's cool to see Joey back after so long of a layoff. It's going to be fun. Dude, Joey's fight is going to be so sick. I think it's on the prelims, which sucks, but hopefully not my friends, but hopefully somebody else can get injured and then Joey can get on the main
Get
card.
bumped up a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of funny content on your page, whether it's just memes, interviews, or just funny training clips. Where does that side of you come from, and like, why have you decided to showcase it a bit?
Because I feel like a douchebag if I'm serious. That's the main thing. Is like, I don't know if we're already like going out and fighting people in cages. Like, it's already what we do for a living is absurd, right?
Hmm.
So who gives a shit how people portray you?
Yeah, no, I can definitely get where you're coming from there. I mean, you guys are some savages, so yeah, I mean, I like the funniness. I think it adds a really good touch. I love the memes on your fucking Instagram. They're hilarious. So,
Well, they're still coming, man. There's gonna be more and more.
love it. So, you're French, and there's like you went on the mic after your last fight and just kind of went crazy in French and just like I don't know what you said, but I didn't. I mean, I didn't know you spoke French, obviously. So just tell me about your little bit of your French roots and just learning that language.
So I'm born and raised in Quebec.
Okay.
So I went to French school from kindergarten to the end of high school. And then once I barely graduated high school, is started just working at the gym, right? Then I moved here, and it's in Quebec. We're like right on the border in Gatineau. We're right on the border with Ottawa, so everybody speaks Fringlish. There's no like real line with French and English, so I'm completely bilingual. So I was just like writing down a couple promos, or you know what? I made it up on the spot. I made up a
Did you
promo on the
actually?
head, and then I said it.
Well, you cut a really good promo. I'll say that. That was very awesome, and I had no clue what you said, so I enjoyed it.
It was something along the lines of, "I'm the toughest guy. I'm smarter than Bill Nye. And I'm sweeter than apple pie."
I know you said you had to make sure it rhymed, so I was wondering what kind of shit you came up with because I see you always come up with these funny rhymes and stuff. So
Yeah,
that's really awesome. You talked about Gatineau,
yeah.
and you had a fight there. You had one of your first pro fight there, like a year or two ago, I want to say. How was that
That was in
experience?
Ottawa. I fought in 2019.
Oh, okay, that was in Ottawa. Okay, so
Yeah, I
but
fought,
just how was that experience fighting in front of your hometown and everything?
I had already fought a few times a few times in Ottawa in like amateur kickboxing, amateur MMA. And it was kind of the same. I mean, I won most of those fights, but I didn't win that one. Fucking Siri. Uh, Fought Siri, and it was a sick fight. It was like back and forth.
Hmm.
Like we're fighting pretty hard, and then he ended up head kicking me and finishing me in the 4 minutes in the fight. So thanks for bringing that up, buddy.
I'm sorry.
I think I'm kidding.
No, so what's it? Sirhi is how you say his name, right?
Yeah,
Okay, so I was gonna ask you about him. Did you? I'm guessing you saw his win on Dana White's Contender Series. Just what do you think about his potential as a fighter? And are you guys like close at all, or do you not really talk
yeah,
to him?
Siri's sick, man. Like he
Okay,
comes down to NTT all the time. He'll
nice.
do like wrestling practice. Like we'll go down to BTC, and like I think my first time coming down, I saw him here. I was like 3 weeks. I was here for 3 weeks, and then I saw him at BTC for the first time. And we were the only two guys with no sparring partners. And AJ was right on the side. He was in the ring,
Hmm.
and I just went up to AJ and I was like, "Hey, man, just make sure we don't fucking slug it out right now." And AJ's like, "Yeah, yeah, you're good." And AJ told me after the round, he's like, "I didn't even care at all."
I was not looking at you
At the
whatsoever.
round,
Yeah.
So I was like, Siri, and immediately he's like, yep, let's go, let's go. So we like took it very easy at first, and then later on, like for my Willette fight, which I also lost, he was getting ready for Ali Wasuk at BFL,
Okay.
and Ali ended up pulling out right at weigh-ins, but we did our camp together, and we did a bunch of rounds together for that camp, so we were like scrapping pretty hard. That was back when I was a 45 or 2, so now I'm like a million pounds heavier than him, so
Got you. That's really awesome though. That's kind of like what MMA is all about, you know, like having fought someone and then being able to train with them and like really improve on your game and like help each other out. Like I really love that. That's an awesome story.
yeah, man. And like we'll reminisce about it
Hmm.
too. I would say like, yeah, like I'll send him the picture every once in a while of me with my head busted open. Like I had like plastic surgery in
Did
my
you?
forehead here. Well, a plastic surgeon did the stitches,
Okay.
but they did like inside stitches and outside stitches. So it ended up being like 30 stitches or something like that
Damn,
total.
okay. Got you
And
good.
it's like for my baby face to like have just the scar right in the middle. But again, like what we do is absurd. Like for that year for Halloween, I just went as Harry Potter. So
So you said you talked about your team and the team you have around you and just everyone that helps you out coming into these fights, including your mom. You said that she calls the commissions and makes sure that all your medicals are in. Just talk to me a little bit about how your parents feel about you fighting and just the support and love you get from them.
yeah, man, shout out to my mom. She's sick. She has the a few of the commissioner's personal phone numbers because she's a mom and she's super nice.
That's
So they end up
hysterical.
liking her. But yeah, like I didn't have a manager my first couple pro fights and all my amateur career, right? So I always relied on her to like, dude, my parents used to drive me to the gym every night, or I would take the bus to the gym after school every night to go to the gym. I'd train, and then my dad, who has a garage, would drive, pick me up from the gym after his shift at work at like 9 o'clock, and then we'd drive home, and then he'd like make food, make dinner, and everything. It's ridiculous.
That's
Like,
awesome. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know how anyone would be willing to do that
Hmm.
for anyone, but I'm glad my parents did it.
Yeah, they made real parental sacrifices for you, man, and you and like now that you're older, you realize like how much they actually did for you, and it's just like holy shit, like it's crazy,
They'd
it's
be like
crazy.
late to pick me up sometimes, and I'd be pissed off. And now
Hmm.
I think about that now, like today,
Hmm.
and I'm like,
I was
oh,
such an
I
asshole. Yeah.
like, yeah,
No, I definitely get what you mean. I think I look back on some situations like that too and feel the same way. So you have 5 finishes in a row. Uh, I think you finished all of your fights, even when you were an amateur, except one, the rematch against Cedric Lockhart. So I wanted to ask, where does that finishing instinct come from? Is that just you liking to get fights out of there quick, or?
no, I don't know when guys are hurt, and I just work as hard as I can all the time, right? So like I can't really tell when guys are like about to give up or tired or whatever. So I just like make myself as tired as I can be, and then hopefully they die before I do.
That sounds like the Dricus Duplessis game plan, and I love it. I love
I
it.
mean, don't get me wrong, it didn't work my first two fights, right? So like something changed. I don't know what, but yeah.
No, I mean, the style's fun to watch. It's definitely entertaining, man. You always bring it. I mean, the drop kick against Jamie Flick and then proceeding to just viciously KO him. I wanted to ask, how did that one feel? I mean, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. Jamie Flick, cool guy. Like after weigh-ins,
Hmm.
like we talked about, like I did my camp in Gatineau for that fight because it was during November. So my dad, like I mentioned earlier, he has a garage, and every November for tire season, I go down and I work at the garage to help him out. Uh, so I did my whole camp working like a regular job, and then training in between and like figuring it out like that, like sending videos to like Cricket when I like needed questions for wrestling or whatever, getting whoever I could to like train spar. Um, but we knew like technically I was going to be better than Jamie Flick, and the matchup itself didn't really scare me. So I was like, I didn't tell anyone. I told AJ, I told my buddy Joey, and then after weigh-ins or the day of the fight, I told my coaches. I told D-Marks and Prickett that I was going to do the drop kick because that was the one thing that scared me, right? I was like, what if I like throw this drop kick and I post on my arm and break my arm and lose against this fucking guy? Like that was like the motivation, right? Like if going in there and not being scared, like I think that's a very easy way to lose a fight.
Okay. Okay, so you like to go in a bit scared and kind of just get it out of there early, almost in a sense.
Yeah, there's no fucking way I'm getting caught cold, man. I come
Mm-hmm.
in hot and I come in and I stay hot the whole time.
Definitely makes sense. I like that. So you do this thing before fights, I've noticed, where you hype yourself up and you keep telling yourself that you're not a bitch and you're not a bitch. So I wanted to ask, do your opponents keep calling you a bitch before the fight, or or are you just doing this to hype yourself up? Because I was so confused. I was like, do you have beef with every person you fight, or is like, what's going on here? And then you did
In
it.
my
And then
head,
you did it to Goys too. Poor Goys had to.
well, that's Goisy actually said he's like, uh, yeah, I'm going to shoot your fight next time because we were in Vegas the week before for
Okay.
Jazz's. I got to talk to him a lot. He's like, yeah, I'm gonna shoot your fight. Like, why don't you fucking come out to the camera and I'll get some good shots of you yelling at me or whatever. So I remember like right after the finish, I was like, where the fuck is Goisy? Running around the ring, looking at him, fucking yelling at him. But I think, yeah, that's it. It's like I said, there's no way I'm getting caught cold. And if I have to burn a little bit more energy at the beginning, then so be it. Like I would prefer that, like that getting tired and need to deal with that than coming out flat and just getting annihilated in
Yeah, and
30
just
seconds.
never being able to pick it up. Yeah, no, I get it. I
Exactly.
get what you're saying, and I mean, I like the whole hype up thing. I mean, it's really funny. The videos were just awesome to watch, and it looks like it works, man. Like it is hype. It's hype. It's inspirational in a sense. Like I like it. So
The last fight was hard because like it was the first time I fought at the Quebec Commission,
okay,
and I knew I'd cornered a couple guys that fought there, but I knew that like they keep you on deck, like not in the warm up room for the entirety of the fight before you.
okay,
But I didn't know that they were last round, not the fight before me, the fight before that. So I had like 45 minutes without like pad work, without anything. I'm wrapped up, I'm ready to go. And like I said, it takes fucking energy, man, to like keep that frame of mind the whole time. So and I had my opponent that was like kind of in eye shot, so I was like death staring him the whole time and fucking telling him that I'm not a bitch and all this shit.
that's
And
actually hysterical because you seem like an awesome and like really cool guy. So I can only imagine you being like intimidating as fuck, like looking, staring someone down like that, like.
yeah, the guys at the gym, they have like a million nicknames for me. One of them is like Canadian Psycho because I'm like, it's literally like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Like I'm
Yeah, two
joking
different
about
sides.
showing guys memes in the back room while I'm getting my like hands wrapped and everything. And then like there's some point in the warm up that I'll look over at a guy and I'll be like, let's fucking go, D Marks. Let's fucking go. And then that's when it's
Yeah,
time to go.
and then you're just locked in. That's really awesome. So is the Dropkick nickname something you're gonna stick with? You talked about some of the nicknames you've gotten.
I'm definitely gonna try to make some Dropkick Popowick t-shirts.
I like that. I'll definitely buy one if you make one. That's
Nice.
awesome.
There we got Dropkick Popowick, we got Lunatic Popowick, we got Pop Pop, we got K-pop, we got a bunch that we're gonna do.
All of them. That's awesome. I like that a lot. So you were a double champ as an amateur in Fight Quest. What was it like, holding two titles? It was in lightweight and welterweight. So just tell me a little bit about being a double champ as an amateur.
So I never defended those titles, so
No.
they
Okay.
weren't real. Yeah, I fought Cedric Lockhart, Cedric Lachar. He's really good fighter, really cool. He fought my teammate Jared. Yeah, you talked to Jared
Yeah,
about
I
that.
know about that fight. Yeah.
Yeah, so if he could beat Jared, like he's a good guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah, I ended up like losing to him again in
Mm-hmm.
amateur, and then beating him in the rematch. And then I was getting ready for the 170 fight, Amy. I was getting ready for a 55 fight again. And I think it was 2 weeks out from the fight, the promoter messaged me and they're like, "Hey, your opponent that we had already like accepted everything. He's like, he's not answering our DMs anymore. Like we're talking to him about tickets and weight and everything, and he just stopped answering." So it was like, what are you going to do? And the promoter said, "Well, we got this guy at 170." And I was like, he had fought Zach before, Zach Powell.
Yep.
Um, Zach beat him. And I was like, okay, like good guy, like dangerous fight, of course, because he had a big right hand, but we knew like if he doesn't knock me out, I'm gonna win this fight.
Okay.
You know, like he wasn't gonna win on points. He had a big right hand, he had low volume, and that was kind of it. Um, so
So you took the risk.
yeah,
Yeah. So
I
you
was
took
like,
the risk.
fuck it.
Okay.
I ended up weighing in at like 167
Ooh.
at with breakfast in me.
Ooh. Okay.
Yeah. So like I got in the cage and I was like, oh yeah, okay, this guy's fucking big.
What? I guess you didn't have the Aaron Jeffrey nutrition yet in your career, or?
No, I hadn't met age at the
Yeah.
point yet. So yeah, the days of boiled chicken and rice and cabbage weren't those weren't the days yet.
Okay. Okay. So, almost wrapping it up here, but I need to ask you this: have you ever seen your Tapology photo?
Um,
Can I
so
please show it to you?
dude, it gets sent in the group chat all the
Okay.
time.
Good. Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So that's when I started kickboxing.
Okay.
I was 15 years old in that picture, or 16 years old in that picture.
Showing the camera so that people can see.
Yeah, dog.
Sorry for doing you like that, but I looked at your Tapology, man, and I was just like, come on, there's no way they did my man like this. I was like, come
That's
on.
cool. I mean, like it's crazy the contrast of like my topology picture and then the picture for Unified.
Hmm.
I look like I have two kids and a divorce under my belt. I look like I'm 45 years old.
The absolute contrast in looking like a child and looking like a man that's been through it all.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so last one from me. I just wanted to ask, what are your goals in your career? What would you like to be in mixed martial arts? What do you want to do in the future?
What do I want to do in the future would be keep fighting. My goals would be not to be a fucking bitch. What was the last question?
Just like what like where would you see yourself? Like where do you want to end up? Like what promotion per se?
Well, if Bellator wasn't completely gone, I would have said Bellator all the way because of AJ. But now, I don't give a rat's ass. Uh, Guys say like, "Oh, this sport, like for the glory and all this shit." I don't care at all.
Hmm.
I'm like, I would fight in an empty room with no one there if it was just me, the guy, and the ref, right? Like, I'm doing this for me and I'm not doing this for anyone else. It's nice to like hopefully be able to have money one day,
Hmm.
but like if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen either, right? So
Okay. Yeah, no. So you kind of just you want to be taken care of, but if it doesn't happen, I mean, you're still doing what you love, and that's really what you care about.
you can always go work at the tire shop.
Okay, yeah, you always do have a decent backup there. All right,
Yeah.
Kevin, I appreciate the time. Seriously, man, thank you. It was great talking
All
to
right.
you.
Great talking to you, man.
All right.